Welcome to the 247 Sports YouTube channel. I'm National Recruiting Editor Brandon Huffman, and in just a moment, we will go to San Mateo, California, where the #1 JUCO prospect in the country, per the composite, Sione Laulea, will announce his decision. College of San Mateo has been home to a number of top prospects over the last few years, and it is now home to the #1 player in the composite, the #1 JUCO prospect in the state of California, and the #1 JUCO cornerback nationally in 2024. So now we go to San Mateo in the Bay Area, where we're joined by Sione Laulea and all of his friends and family that are here to see where he will be announcing his decision. Sione, welcome here. Welcome to you and all your family, and a big night for you. So welcome tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on the show.
You know, Sione, you've had kind of an interesting recruitment. In high school, at Sarah High School, just across the street there in San Mateo, you had one offer, and that was the Sacramento State to go to the Big Sky and play. But you bet on yourself. Instead of taking the Sacramento State offer, you went to the College of San Mateo, won a national championship as a freshman, and now here you are a year later, 20 offers, kind of a who's list. What was that process like, turning down the opportunity to sign when all your teammates were, and betting on yourself to go the JUCO route?
So personally, for me, it was really tough deciding to come the JUCO route at first. I had to first settle and tell my family around me that I wasn't going Division I as it seemed. And I had to retrace and I feel like grow a bit more. And CSM did exactly that. Based on our core values, our culture of respect, hard work, and learning, of course. They've done nothing but help me produce into a great man I've become today. Hopefully, I think so. But yeah, no, it's just all the trials and tribulations this program has put me through made me nothing but a better person, athlete, and man.
You know, and Sarah High School obviously has a nice history with some players there. Some other guys that were a little bit overlooked at various points in their own recruitment or their own quest to make it to the next level. And here you are a year later with the 20 offers, with official visits to all 5 schools, with all the schools in the country coming through to recruit you. Does it feel like you made the right decision and you feel justified in making that decision to now where you have so many different opportunities to choose from?
Yeah, as you said, having 20 offers, all the glam and the glory that I've been blessed with, doesn't come from me, solely me, my family, or my coaches. It comes from God, and I'm forever grateful for the man above. And yeah, it's just been a crazy and rough experience, but at the same time, making this decision wasn't too hard, given the other teams surrounding. All great programs, and I show utmost respect for everyone recruiting me, but it wasn't too hard in my opinion.
You stayed at home to get to play in the Bay Area, to play your JUCO ball. You've got a tremendous support system. You've got numerous people that are there to witness this announcement. Who do you have sit with you up on the table before you make this decision that have been alongside you for pretty much the entirety of this recruitment?
Beside me, first to my right is my little brother, Frankie Finney. Everybody clap it up for Frankie. If you guys follow me on social media, you guys clearly know that in all my photo shoots and all my little official visits, this is the real star of the show. And to my left, I have my beautiful mother, Sione Laulea.
All right, well, you have all those people tuned in around the country to see your decision. You have all those people in that room with you, ready to make your decision. So I'm going to turn it over to you and let you thank everybody that's there, and then give the people what they're here for, where you're going to be spending your next couple of years of college football.
All right, so now it's my turn to finally let you guys know what it is. I prepared a speech. I'm not too great at talking, so I wrote it down, and I'm trying to look you guys eye to eye as much as possible. Good evenings, friends, coaches, and family. I want to start off by thanking everyone in here in attendance and those that are watching on the live stream. Without any of you, I wouldn't be who I am, nor in the position that I currently am in. But first, and most importantly, I'd like to thank my Heavenly Father for the talents and abilities He has blessed me with. And like I said, the people around me He's blessed me to be surrounded by. It can be misunderstood from the outside how hard this battle has been for me, and the Lord and simply His word and grace have been dragging me through this rough process. Now, to start off with coaches, I'd like to thank my Sarah High School coaches for all the support and foundation they built for me. I especially would like to give a big thanks to Coach Walsh. I don't know if Coach Walsh is here, but I want everybody to give him a round of applause. This man right here would try to break me out of jail if I really needed it, and would go to the ends of the earth to make sure I succeeded, and I'm nothing but thankful for you, Coach. You've seen something in me that I found hard to see in myself, and I may have not have been the best athlete in school, and especially not the best student. But I've grown a lot from that point in my life, and a big reason of that is you. Next, I would like to thank my coaches here at CSM. I can say that this program has turned my life around for the better. It was just 16 months ago, as Coach T said, I sat in a meeting room with Coach Sakona, Coach T, and OG, debating with my grandparents whether I go on a mission or not. And they were able to convince them to let me stay at CSM and ball. All three of these coaches have been great mentors of the game, the classroom, but most importantly, life. In a way, they have been great father figures and helped guide me into being the man I am today. Out of all the coaches, though, I'd like to give a special thank you to Coach OG. Everybody give a round of applause to OG. I want you to stand up so everybody knows where you at. It goes by the stand OG is DBU, and he is the reason why CSM is DBU. Start off with Coach OG. To be completely honest, he knows, and he told me that he didn't want me at CSM here at first. I'm sure he takes that back now. No matter what the time is on the clock, I know I'm able to call him and know he'll pick up and give me advice for any of my needs. And of course, he's carved me and developed me to be the best athlete I am today. So a special huge thank you to Coach OG. Next is a thank you to my dearest of family friends. First is the Atkins, Harold and Erica and their loving family. They have opened their hearts to me since I was 5 years old playing Pop Warner with their son Alex. They've asked of nothing from me but to succeed in the classroom and on the field. I have so much love for you all and will always treasure being called the 5th Atkins boy. Next is the Chunks. Same as the Atkins, we all met at our Pop Warner team, the MA Vikings. Huge shout out to the MA Vikings. Peter and Betsy have raised 3 outstanding sons, Sam, John, and Teddy. And they've done great things. Sam is at Arizona playing football, also studying. John Chung is out in Harvard playing football and studying as well. Teddy's next up, as you know, the little machine. And partially can say they raised me. They have opened their doors to me many times in time of need and offer the greatest advice through adversity. So thank you guys as well. The last family is the Webbers. For those of you who don't know the Webbers, please stand up. Please stand up. Round of applause for the Webbers. For those of you who don't know the Webbers, I currently stay with them. For the second semester of my senior year of high school, I stayed with them to make things easier on myself academically and distance-wise from school. And they were completely open to it as their only son, Jaden, attended school with me. Fast forward 2 years to now, and Jaden is now playing Division I football for Sacramento State. And here I am still staying with his parents, which truly shows how much you two care for me and my success. You treated me like one of your own, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything. Now the last set of thank yous goes out to my own beautiful family. I'd like to thank collectively all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins for the support of the journey. I would go on and name all of you guys one by one, but we'd be sitting here for 2 more hours. Specifically, I would like to thank my grandparents. Since birth, you both have saved me from so many whoopings and have made sure I had whatever I wanted at all times, even if it meant taking from yourself. Especially you, Grandma. Yeah. You make sure I have whatever I need, and I don't just mean the materials. You've always supported me emotionally and most importantly, spiritually. You've always made sure, don't cry, please. You've always made sure that I stayed as physically possibly close to the Lord. A very special thank you also goes out to my mother. We're going to have to get louder than that. She single-handedly raised me, and only God knows how hard it was to deal with me growing up.
Lord knows.
You said what?
Lord knows.
We always butted heads, but in the end, things turned to work out. Your unconditional love and support has turned me into the man I am today. You are the reason I play this sport. Seriously. She forced me when I was 4 to play the sport, and I would cry day in and day out until I finally touched the ball. This path of success I'm on is ultimately for the struggles and hardships you've gone through to get me here. Okay, I promise this is the last one. This final and last thank you goes out to my old man. Grandpa, where you at?
Right there in the back.
That's the middle. Grandpa, you are the heart and soul of this family and even my life. Your name is on my locker, and every day I try to win at everything I do just for you. You're the closest thing to heaven, and you've set the greatest example to the family, and I'm so appreciative for it all. God has truly blessed me with the greatest grandpa of them all. And for the most red part of my heart, I love you, old man. Now down to the good part. Now to my decision. As you know, these are all 3 my finalists. And before I get to picking it, I want it to be known that this was nowhere near easy, as all 3 of these programs are extremely prestigious and high-achieving programs with great men and women running them. I prayed on this so many times and have talked it over with my coaches countless times, and I've decided that for the next 2 to 3 years, I'll be transferring and continue my academic and athletic career at
All right. The University of Oregon is the pick for Sione Laulea. Oregon is going to
All right,
get.
we're going to settle down as he has a few more questions for me, and then we'll get turned back up.
All right, Sione, so the Oregon Ducks are the pick for you. You narrowed it down to Miami, USC, and Oregon. What ultimately pushed Oregon across for you at the finish line?
When it came to making a decision, the key factors were simply fit, culture, and development. Starting off with culture, Oregon has a great system that is similar to here at CSM. They build upon learning, hard work, and everything that we value here at CSM. And I've done nothing but grown in this environment. So I'm looking for something similar, and Oregon is just that. On top of that,
kind of when was it that Oregon really started to emerge as a leader for you, where you knew that that was going to be where you ultimately end up?
it was always a battle, an even match between all 3. But as it went on, my relationship with Coach LaPoy, the defensive coordinator, just kept getting stronger and stronger. And through that, I could see that my clear choice was Oregon.
You're going to head up there in January. Your plan is to come in and play right away. That was one of the big things for you, was finding a school that you'd be able to come in as an instant impact guy with Coach Martin. And obviously the success he had with Christian Gonzalez a year ago in his development. How much was his specific development at the corner position a part of your decision?
Yeah, that also showed a big part of evidence to me that Oregon knows exactly what they're doing. Last year, they had a corner by the name of Christian Gonzalez, like you said, drafted in the first round, of similar size to me. So that's clear that if I go to Oregon, and when I do go to Oregon, they know exactly what to do with someone like me. Not only that, they have a player by the name of Kyrie Jackson, who is also successful. Same thing, similar size, similar frame, and is doing exactly what his coaches are having him do.
Mom, you saw a year and a half ago, when he came to you and said that he wasn't going to be able to sign anywhere, that he was going to bet on himself and go to College of San Mateo. And now here you are with all your friends and family in the room. It's got to be a proud moment for you, but knowing how much work he put in to increase his odds of finding a better school to end up at, what does tonight mean to you? What does his decision to go to Oregon mean to you yourself as his mother?
This has been a blessing for my whole family. When he got the offer in high school to go to Sacramento State, I'm like, oh, it's D1. Go ahead, sign it. You know, it's a free education. Why not? But he told me, Mom, I can do better. I can go and get more. So I was like, okay, we're going to bet on it. And he did what he did, and we're here today. And we're so grateful that he's chose Oregon. And we'll see you in the Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
All right, Sione. Well, I know that there's a flashy little hand sign that Oregon likes to show off when they get a win, when they get a touchdown. Before we let you show the crowd, or actually before we get away, first show the crowd that you got there to support you tonight, that has been a part of this process and got to see you announce, and show off all those people that were making all the ruckus when you announced that you're going to Oregon.
All right, it's about that time. I got y'all ready for this little moment to make this noise. On the count of 3, you guys are going to make noise. 1, 2, 3.
All right, well, there it is. Sione Laulea, the #1 JUCO prospect in the state of California, the #1 cornerback in the JUCO ranks, is headed to the University of Oregon. Sione, flash that O. Thanks for joining us. Mom, thanks to you. Congratulations to you. And there you have it. Dan Lanning picks up a commitment from one of the premier JUCO players in all of the 2024 class in Sione Laulea. We're going to send it over to Greg Biggins here in just a second, and Greg is going to join us. Greg, you've been watching Oregon's recruitment these last couple of years under Dan Lanning, but we've been able to watch Demetrius Martin's recruiting for at least 15 years, going back to when he was at the University of Washington, at a number of Pac-12 stops. But this is a big pickup for Demetrius Martin. You know, what does this mean for both him as a recruiter and for Oregon secondary, adding a player like Sione?
I mean, it's huge. And like you said, Diamond, we've known Coach Meat for, I think, forever, right? As long as we've been doing this. And he loves every stop he's ever been. He loves long corners. You look at his, track record right now for producing, developing and getting guys out, and his current starters right now, right? Jalil Florence is 6'1.5", 6'2". Kyrie Jackson, 6'3". Christian Gonzalez was 6'2". Sione's 6'4" and can run. So I think it's huge for Oregon. They had to beat out a couple of heavyweights, Miami, USC, and not just those two. Those were his finalists, but he beat out a lot of major programs. You mentioned Coach Tosh Lupoy, Coach Meat. I know Rashad Wadud does some work over there with the DBs as well. So great team effort, man. What a great time that was. What a fun party it was. So like Autzen Stadium when he announced over there. And I know Sione said he doesn't speak very well, man. He was rolling. I think he's got a career in broadcasting when he's done playing football, man. He can go a little bit on and off the field. So that was a fun time. Congrats to him and congrats to Oregon.
Greg, you've gotten a chance to watch Sione. We saw him play a couple of years ago at Sarah High School. You got to see him in the state championship game a couple of years ago when they played against Modern Day High School, which was loaded themselves. We know that Sarah's the premier program in the high school ranks in Northern California, but strangely enough, a lot of those guys have not been recruited at a high level, and they go on and they end up really outplaying maybe what the recruitment looks like. So he goes to CSM, has a great freshman season, and now he's a top JUCO DB. But what have you seen in his growth as a player, going back to when he was at Sarah with Patrick Walsh to now with Tim Tulloch at CSM as he heads to Oregon in a few months?
I mean, how great is Patrick Walsh, right? I mean, every year he's been doing it forever. And I remember watching him playing, at De La Salle years ago. So obviously, Patty Walsh, he knows what he's doing. And you said it about 3 or 4 times, Huff. The kid bet on himself. And we watched him in high school. He was good. He has that length, which is, we always value that size. He's probably closer to 6'2" than 6'4" at that time. Really thin, about 160. I think he's closer to 185 now, but, really good football player. And you're kind of looking back at it now and even looking back at what he looked like then, it's kind of surprising he didn't have more Power 5 offers. You come from a school like Sarah, you think automatically he's going to have some of those Bay Area schools on him, right? So, I love what you said. He bet on himself, could have taken the easy way out, the path of, least resistance, take the one offer and go get the free education. But man, he knew he was a high level guy. I don't know if he knew he was a, 50 offer kind of guy with all these schools like USC and obviously Oregon, Miami. Bet on himself, and I think he's got a chance. He's an early grad. I think he's got a chance to go in there. Oregon, they got some dudes right now. I think Kyrie Jackson has kind of worked himself into that second round discussion. There's going to be an open spot at the corner spot right now. Obviously, they have Rod Pleasant. They have Dalen Austin, a couple of guys that we've seen a lot. But Sione has a rare combination of length and athleticism. He's not just a 6'3", 6'4" guy. You can't play if you're 6'3", 6'4" and can't run. The kid can smother opposing wide receivers at line of scrimmage, but, man, he can run. He's a legitimate 10'7", 10'800-meter guy with that good short area quickness, change direction. You're watching the tape. He's got good ball skills. Doesn't have to hold and grab a lot, but really like the way he plays. He's a physical kid, and just listening to him speak, man, he's just an easy guy to root for. Great family. So a great kid. Again, like we said, man, I think he can go in there. He's going in this spring. I think we'll see him on the field next fall.
You know, to wrap it up, obviously a huge game for Oregon this week when they go on the road to play the University of Washington. But Dan Lanning has shown in the, less than 24 months he's been on campus, his ability to recruit at a high level, the way they closed in 2023 with Mateo Uiagalelei, Dalen Austin, Roger Pleasant, a couple of guys that you mentioned. And then in 2024, they are off to a tremendous start in the Pac-12 as they make that move over to the Big Ten. But more importantly, they're still in the mix for several guys. How big of a commitment is it with Sione as they make that move to the Big Ten? I mean, you look at some of the best receiver corps in the country, they are in the Big Ten. How important is a player of his size and length going to be as Oregon makes that transition to the Big Ten next year?
Yeah, you mentioned size and length, the Big Ten, you mentioned it, wide receiver. But for me, I'm always going to think of the Big Ten as a power, physical, kind of a run-dominated conference. You need to have physical corners that can get up there and tackle, not just guys that can run. And so you bring in a guy with his size and his length and his toughness, even more importantly, his physicality, more importantly, to play in the Big Ten. So I think he fits in the conference really, really well. I think Coach Lanning's done an unbelievable job. Coming from the SEC, he obviously understands toughness, physicality. Nobody has been more tough or physical than Georgia the last 3 or 4 years. Dan Lanning brings that over to the Pac-12, which will soon be the Big Ten. I think Oregon is primed to make some, not just this year, but I think they're in a really good position to be a serious difference maker from a national standpoint, as long as Coach Lanning is there.
Well, thanks, Greg. You've gotten a great chance to watch Sione play these last couple of years from high school. You might be seeing Sarah High School play in a couple of months. They're the #1 team in Northern California and en route to potentially playing in another state championship. But thanks for joining us. And to all our viewers tonight, thank you for giving us part of your Sunday night to see where the #1 composite JUCO player in the country, the top JUCO prospect in the state of California, Sione Laulea, headed to the University of Oregon to play for Dan Lanning. We appreciate you guys joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Go read more about Sione's commitment over on duckterritory.net. Thanks for joining us.